My research is at the intersection of law and finance, with a non exclusive focus on real estate. I conduct empirical research to measure the impact of curtailing property and contractual rights in residential real estate assets on the price of those assets. In some cases, I also document remedial actions by owners who now must adjust for additional risk that losing their property rights entails, whether at the hands of the government or of a private party. And additional research outside of property rights includes a look at the impact of white collar crime on nonprofit organizations, where I observe how charitable organizations react when deprived of their property rights by a non governmental entity. I currently have three working papers in this vein of research, and I hope to conduct additional studies that find themselves at the intersection of law and finance. My first and most developed paper on real estate property rights and the pricing of real estate assets is titled Your Land is My Land: Civil Conquest, Asset Protection, and Real Estate Value. In this paper, I observed the impact of loosening property protections on real estate prices through a change in Pennsylvania adverse possession law. Despite the attempt by Pennsylvania legislators to help homeowners by making acquisition of nearby land easier, the law had a significantly negative effect on home values in the state. This paper is the first paper of which I am aware to analyze the impact of laws permitting civil conquest of property on real estate asset prices. In a related work, The Impact of an Eviction Ban on Rents and Home Values, I show that curtailing homeowner rights to evict non-paying tenants also has a strong negative effect on home values. This runs contrary to the hypothesis that landlords would be able to raise rental prices sufficiently to compensate themselves for additional eviction restrictions on non-paying tenants. In fact, I observed that landlords are not able to raise rent prices at all, and that rents actually decline after the institution of an eviction moratorium. The paper, to the best of my knowledge, is the first to illuminate the impact of extreme government measures that curtail basic property and contract rights both on homeowners and renters. While my most recent works are on residential real estate assets and residential real estate asset prices, my research expands beyond this area. For example, my first finance working paper, The Costs of Financial Misconduct in Nonprofits, observes the impact of financial crime on nonprofit organizations. I use nonprofit disclosures in their mandatory annual filings with the IRS to identify organizations impacted by financial crime. This research, too, has a property rights component, since the property rights of nonprofit organizations and financial assets are unexpectedly curtailed, this time by individuals rather than a legislative body. In this paper, I show that the focus of prior scholarship on nonprofit contributions may be misplaced, since the average nonprofit's revenue is dominated by service revenue rather than charitable contributions. A more accurate survey of nonprofit performance post crime should focus on revenue and salaries, which are the largest single item expense. I show that both of these measures decline very sharply, but that executive salaries experience a swift rebound, even though executives have higher odds of being the perpetrators of the crime to begin with. The wages of common workers, however, continue to decline, showing that nonprofit belt tightening occurs at the wages of the ordinary worker rather than the wages of executives.